factory in Urbana, 45 minutes from here. And, you know, I thought all Republicans were pro-gun. What I realize is that they should remove the D and the R next to their name and put L for loser until they prove otherwise.
Yeah!
Patrick Henry said, guard that liberty with preciousness. And I'll tell you, it's more true today. That's why you're only seeing, what, 3, 4, 5 legislators here today? Where's the rest of them? Yeah, they're at lunch, eating something, I'm sure. 99 members of the House, 33 in the Senate. None of them. Where are they? Where are they? They're not defending our right to protect ourselves and our children. That's right. I've tried to make amendments to the floor to change some of these laws. Leadership and other Republicans call themselves pro-gun and pro-conservative. They've tried to bully me. They've tried to come up to me before the floor vote and say, please don't offer that amendment. We'll work it out. We'll fix it in the Senate. We'll do this, we'll do that. And then nothing ever gets fixed. I stand up on the floor, I try to make amendments, they don't call on me. That's how much they care about our personal protection and our gun rights.
Hold a copy of the Constitution up!
Thank you. Even my rights are infringed in this house, your house. Our governor, he said he won't sign our Stand Your Ground bill that Representative Keller and I have written, along with Ohio gun owners. Why not? It's in perfect alignment with the Ohio Constitution. You know, the Constitution that Governor Kasich said he would uphold, and he's turned into a traitor to us. This building behind
in the closet.
Yeah. Amen. This building behind you, criminal protection zone. That's what I call them in my classes. You paid for it, your taxpayers paid for it, and you can't go in that building with a firearm. I can't go in that building with a firearm.
Criminals don't obey the law.
Stand your ground. 15 of the 66 Republicans in the House signed on as co-sponsors.
They still obey the law.
15 out of 66. Don't forget that number at Election Day. All right, lots of people have talked to you about criminals and what happens. There's a recent study that I read. When these cowards go into these criminal protection zones, I bet you didn't hear this. So Colorado, remember the theater shooter? Not only did he pass one theater that was closer to his house, he passed 2 theaters that were closer to his house to go to a 3rd theater that was posted, right? Gun-free zone. I can't believe they don't follow that sign, right? As Representative Hood said, it's just too small. I'm sure that's the problem. He passed 2. Why? Because he knew there wouldn't be people there who could protect themselves. 3 things happen when these crazies, with their fantasy about going and killing a bunch of people, when gunfire comes back at them, they run, which means they stop killing people. They surrender, which means they stop killing people. Or they kill themselves, which also means they stop killing people. See, the real studies show that when law enforcement, and God love them, they can't be anywhere. They can't be everywhere, right? Law enforcement's minutes away when seconds count. That's what I tell people in my class. That's just the way it goes. They cannot be everywhere. They do a great job. And they're running toward the fire when most people are running against. So please respect them. But here's a stat you should remember too. When law enforcement shows up at a critical incident, a shooting, the average death toll is 15. When a concealed carry holder is present and engages the shooter, 2.5. I know you've heard this one before, but I'll close with this. As these school shootings happen, we don't have a gun problem. We do indeed have a God problem. The liberals, which exist in both parties, have destroyed our families, demeaned fatherhood, and stripped those offensive 10 commandments out of our schools and government buildings. So the liberals have replaced things like thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill, And now what we have is the sound of babies screaming in their mother's womb as they're killed, and the sound of gunfire in our schools. Are we teaching virtue in our schools or vice? As for me and my house, we will protect and defend these documents as the rule of law. And most importantly, I will continue to protect your right to protect yourself and your family. I'm not going to let a few criminals and criminal acts dictate our right to bear arms. Also, I'm not about to let gun-grabbing liberals take our guns, so the only people who have them is the government and the bad guys.
That's right.
Thank you.
Stay safe, carry on, God bless you.
All right, I think I'm the last speaker. You'll have to go out on a low point. I hope not, anyway. But for those of you who don't know, our booth is right back there. Our freedom level memberships that come with the T-shirts are instead of $75, they're $50 today. But I'm going to get into my speech here. I'm Chris Dorr. I'm the director for Ohio Gun Owners. I moved here a couple of years ago. But I got to tell you, being around hundreds and hundreds of law-abiding gun owners like you makes me very encouraged for the prospects of killing this gun control bill and the myriad of gun control bills that have been proposed behind us here by these people. It's very encouraging to us. But folks, if you read our emails, you already know what's going on. Gun owners like you and me and tens of thousands of our friends that couldn't be here today, we're getting trampled on. We're getting trampled on. Gun owners are not respected in this state house. You know, when Bloomberg and his militants in our state house behind me here introduced bills like Senate Bill 260, which would ban nearly every modern firearm that you can think of, you guys have already been told that. House Bill 395 by Representative Patman, which would ban rubber bands and other bump stocks, other trigger activating devices. Literally, it would ban rubber bands. Or any of the host of gun control bills about to be introduced by Representative West. Gun grabbers are testing the wire. They're testing the mettle of law-abiding gun owners like you and me. But when Governor Kasich partners up with Republican majority leadership in both chambers of our General Assembly behind a six-pronged gun control bill that is going to serve as the basis for what their gun control will look like going forward, which means they will amend it to look like a Christmas tree with gun control bills added onto it. These are great big slaps across the face of gun owners like you and me, the very people who gave them the power and the majority that they are using against us. And like we've been saying, the days when gun owners are told to sit down, shut up, get on the back of the bus and vote for this team or that team, those days are over. They absolutely must be over. Team Democrat has been on the warpath against gun owners in their party since the Clinton regime, and of course, during the Obama debacle they call a presidential administration. They've been working overtime to expel the gun owners from their ranks. But now the Republican wall that was built on the backs of law-abiding gun owners like you is buckling under the pressure of the fake news media and the establishment. But we knew this day would arrive. It was only a question of when, as President Trump once said. That's why we started Ohio Gun Owners 2 years ago, looking around the nation at some of the states that have passed gun control, states with large rural populations, but with major metros that dominate the legislative policy. And I'm thinking of states like Oregon, Washington, Colorado. The one thing that they had in common is that gun owners were not feared at election time. They were not a well-organized political fighting force that these politicians knew would hold them accountable at election time. That's right. That's exactly right. And the old model of doing gun rights activism is tired and it's worn out. The days of a couple guys from a couple gun groups going to the State House and making friends with everybody and then hoping those friendships will hold fast when our gun rights come under blistering attack. It's a recipe for failure and disaster. The days of leaders from gun groups going to the state house and making deals with anti-gunners, watering down the good gun bills like they did to Ohio OFC's House Bill 142 earlier this year. In an effort to appease the gun grabbers, the trial lawyers associations, all the lobby special interest groups in here, those days must be over. In fact, that model has only served to encourage and embolden the anti-gunners in this state house to take bigger swings, to ramp up their attacks on our God-given right to keep and bear arms. The only thing that can stop Bloomberg's gun control machine is you, all of you. The only force strong enough to save our Second Amendment rights is us, the law-abiding, God-fearing, freedom-cherishing, Second Amendment-loving people of Ohio. And that's what Ohio gun owners is all about. We're building a grassroots army of gun owners across our state. We're engaging a whole new generation of gun rights activists using every tool at our disposal. And we must be doing so because the Bloomberg Brigade, the Brady Campaign, the Lion Mommies at Moms Demand Action, as my good friend Jeff Smith first named them, and all the Soros-funded think tanks, they are all doing the exact same thing right now. They're all building a grassroots army to try to bring down our Second Amendment. And we'll be damned if we let that happen.
That's right!
So we're mobilizing an army too, and we have been now for 2 years. We're using the old methods of direct mail, letters to the editor, and radio ads, of course. But we are steeped in the digital age of social media, messaging people via email, Twitter, and of course Facebook, and pretty soon even Instagram. And we're targeting people from a very young age because we've seen in the last few weeks, as we've seen, the radical left is hell-bent on poisoning the minds of our youth and turning them against the very law-abiding gun owners that are the very cure for these problems, for these shooters. So if you're not already a member of Ohio Gun Owners, please go over there right by the booth and sign up to become one today. Join with us, get active, get mobilized, and we're going to keep you guys informed. And that's our job. Our job is to let you know exactly, working with our inside champions like Representative Vitale and Representative Hood, who are just here. Oh, there they are, right down there. Let you guys know what is going on behind the scenes, because for far too long here at the State House, these politicians, these people in charge, they want gun rights to be about what they allow to happen. They want politics up here to be relegated to under the dome. They don't want the real story out on social media. They don't want the masses, the dirty, hairy, unwashed deplorables like us to know what is going on. And that's why we're working with these pro-gun champions on the inside, because we need to externalize everything that happens in this cesspool. And it's our job, especially at election time, to let you know what your rep or your senator has done for you or refused to do for you. It's our job to let you know what their record is at election time so that you can hold your politicians accountable. And you know what? By creating this unbreakable connection between the legislative season and what happens during the election season, you know what's going to happen? I'll tell you what's going to happen. When there are political careers lying in the gutters of Ohio history after election season is over, gun owners will finally begin to be feared again in the state of Ohio. That's what needs to happen.
Right!
And if you are feared in politics, you are respected. That's how we're going to stop this gun control. We're going to stop, block it, and kill it by mobilizing the grassroots against it. Long term, this is our only chance at saving our freedoms that have made this country so great. Again, we have a membership special going on back there, our freedom level memberships that come with our t-shirts that I see. There's quite a few of them out here now. They're normally 75, they're down to 50, but stand with us. Guns are not the problem. Heck, look at all these guns. I've seen some incredible short barrel rifles here today. Carolyn is packing an awesome shotgun. Ah, she gave it away.
I sold it.
Woo! But I don't see a single gun out here trying to get away from its owner and go on a shooting spree right now. Not a single one. Not a single one. Guns aren't the problem. In the hands of law-abiding, peaceful Ohio gunners like you, they are the solution. You know, for the last several years, Ohio gunners have been saying that, or for the last several days, we have been saying that today's event, and you guys have all seen it, you've seen the choppers in the air, you've seen the media walking all over the place. Today is about the optics. Today is about countering the rally that we know is going to happen 2 weeks from today when Bloomberg, and you probably all saw this in the Washington Post, but when Bloomberg rolls out his red carpet, rolls out his big checkbook, and buses people in here from all over the state to have a Lion Moms Demanding Action rally here in just 2 weeks. Today is about countering that. Today's about countering their, it's about telling them that gun owners are no longer willing to water down the gun bills or compromise in order to get a win, and that happens all too often here at the State House. Legislators go weak in the knees. They've put a lot of effort into a piece of legislation, and all of a sudden, they're asked to gut their own bills, and sure enough, they do it. Today is about telling the legislators inside this building that who, because of the actions of a few madman killers, want to punish law-abiding citizens who only want to protect themselves and their families. It's about telling them, hell no. Today is about the optics of telling the legislators in this building, if they think they're going to pass this gun control, they're going to have to come through us, you and me.
That's right!
So if today is all about the optics, all I can tell you is this: mission accomplished and well done. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for coming out here today.
Yeah!
Blown away by the success, and I'm so happy to meet so many of you. God bless you all. God bless Ohio, and God bless America. Thanks a lot, guys.